This is Eyewitness News Everywhere, midday. Uncovering, investigating, getting results.
First of all, a lot of people may be wondering, what the medical experts are taking in the way of dietary supplements. What are most doctors and nurses taking, and why?
Well, we were wondering that too, so we conducted the Life Supplemented study to actually ask that question. We know that 68% of Americans are taking vitamins and supplements, but we did not know what physicians and nurses were doing. The study showed us that 72% of physicians and 89% of nurses are taking some form of vitamins and supplements. We learned that they're most likely to be taking a multivitamin. Other top choices of physicians and nurses were green tea, fish oil, and vitamin C. But we also saw some gender differences and age differences. For example, women physicians and nurses were much more likely to be taking products for their bone health, and older male physicians were much more likely to be focused on vitamins and supplements to support their cardiovascular or heart health.
The New Year's resolution season has passed and already more than half of consumers have failed. The key to setting realistic goals is knowing where you're starting from. You can get those answers in a new online tool called My Wellness Scorecard. To get your free wellness score, as well as simple tips from the experts, visit lifesupplemented.org.
This is Good Morning Nebraska, Sunrise Edition.
Okay, what are some of the biggest challenges of being well?
Well, I think understanding what wellness means is is something people just don't understand. And for me, it has three pillars. It's eating healthy, it's filling in your nutritional gaps with vitamins and other supplements, and of course, physical activity.
How do you get started?
Well, I think evaluation is key and actually knowing your starting point. And we at lifesupplemented.org have a tool called My Wellness Scorecard. And you can go online. It takes about 5 to 7 minutes. It's fast, it's fun, it's easy. And it's going to tell you everything you need to know about those three pillars of health, as well as all of your other healthy lifestyle habits. And then you can see where your gaps are.
You know, usually Americans don't stack up well in some of the surveys that are done about wellness, but how do we stack up?
Well, actually, let's back up. Our survey, which is the one you took, is called My Wellness Scorecard, and it's available on lifesupplemented.org. And didn't it take like 5 minutes? It's fun, it's fast, it's easy. Yeah. And then you get all these answers that pop out that tell you about what your wellness situation is right now.
Live, Rockford's most trusted newscast, 23 News at 5.
More and more Americans are constantly joining the quest for good health. Now there's a website we can turn to for help. In just 15 minutes, we can fill out a wellness scorecard that's designed to give us a personal snapshot into our wellness regime. We answer questions about how we're doing now, and then the website gives us suggestions on how to improve our health.
Are you an alpha well or an O well?
I found out I was a wannabe well. That's the question the Life Supplemented campaign is asking Americans to help assess their overall wellness levels.
I'm right there with you, sister. I took the test. I'm a wannabe well.
Well, Cindy, where do you stack up on that, if I can ask?
I'm not an alpha.
Scorecard?
I'm not an alpha, but I'm probably between the O well and the alpha well.
So what are the 4 levels of wellness, and how do Americans stack up?
Well, you have on the one end of the scale, you have the O wells, which, they need some work, and then you have the alpha wells. And I'm just curious, Greg, where do you stack up, do you think?
I would say I'm maybe in between. Can I be in between?
Now, let me ask you, if you took the questionnaire, where do you think you would be?
Probably not so well.
The wannabe. I'm a wannabe,
Yeah.
probably.
Okay.
Oh, rub it in because you got better scores than I did.
Oh, yeah, well, I can't help it.
Okay, well, how about...
But, even, like, for instance, I wasn't taking folic acid, and as a woman in their childbearing years, every doctor will tell you it's very important to take your folic acid as a woman who is in the childbearing years.
Again, it's that word, we come back to balance. And also, I think, supplementing, because you had very weak hips, doing things like taking calcium, taking vitamin D, and things like that to further bolster your bone health is a really good idea for someone like you.
And then in terms of vitamins, just take them at the same time every day so you don't miss taking them.
This is KLBK 13 this morning.
You definitely recommend vitamins and supplements, though, right?
You know, I think, and I'm an alpha well, by the way, I think none of us eat perfectly. And even when you try, you just can't. And I think it's sort of like an insurance policy, so you can fill in those gaps that when you're just not going to eat right, or you're not always going to exercise the way you should, why not take that very inexpensive insurance policy?
And then about 40% of doctors and a higher percentage of nurses were specifically taking extra vitamin C during, cough, cold, flu season to reduce their risk of colds and infections.
And then male physicians who were younger were focusing more on sports-related injury products, so maybe glucosamine and chondroitin or sports energy kinds of products. And I think this shows us that for people who are not physicians and nurses, they also need to think, where am I in my age, in my stage of life, in my needs, in my other health issues, and how can I responsibly use vitamins and supplements to improve my overall health and well-being. But what this survey tells us, looking at physicians and nurses in general, is that the use of vitamins and supplements and the recommendations to use vitamins and supplements is now officially mainstream.